Alright, what's up guys? Wasn't even planning on filming today, but I've gotten one tyre deep and realised I've got to do my rear tyre too, so I thought I may as well film this. So, I'm going to be doing a tyre installation. I've done the front one, I'm going to do the rear, which is the Minion SS, and putting some new tubeless sealant in as well. And I've also realised that my rear brake is contaminated, so I'm going to be attempting to put on my new EBC brake pads on the rear without many tools at all. I've pretty much only got fluid and then like Allen keys, so it's going to be pretty fun. Let's see how we go anyway. As I'll show you guys the front tyre. Look how good this thing came up. Woo. So the rear is actually an Ardent 2.4, which didn't come stock on this bike, but as you can see the sidewalls are kind of starting to rip and just the overall tread isn't in the best condition. First thing you do, put your gear into the lowest, lock out your derailleur. If you've got Eagle, there's a little locking mechanism down there. Get your Allen key. Okay, that was stupidly tight. Well, I guess we just learnt another lesson there. My through axle was super tight. I'm not sure why. I do over tighten a lot of things, but I never would have thought I'd tighten it up that much. But a lesson for if you do have a stuck through axle for what I just did then was you got to use leverage. So I just put a little Allen key in there and I actually got a spanner and I put it in like that, and then that gives you more leverage. Unless you have super long Allen keys, and that also works. So now that I've got my wheel off, all you're going to do is obviously let all your air out, take your tyre off. The bead on these sometimes can be hard to get off, but you just want to kind of use your thumbs and then push it off like that. This one was pretty easy, but on some old tyres it can be super difficult. One thing that I thought I'd mention is that this setup is already tubeless. I've already got my tubeless tape and my tubeless valve, so all I'm doing is swapping out the tyres. If your bike hasn't got tubeless tape, or your wheels haven't got tubeless tape in them, or a tubeless valve, you will need to buy that and get it installed. As you can see, we've got no sealant in there at all, so it's all dried up. Next step, go onto your shed with all your sexy bikes and pick out your favourite Maxxis tyre, Minion SS. And I'm also going to grab my one set of EBC brake pads on here. Now we have what we're after, and more backup. If your pliers work. Guys, before I put the tubeless sealant in this tyre, I would quickly mention the proper way to install one of these. So you want to look at your tread pattern and you want to make sure you have it going the right direction. So I always look at it like my cassette. So that's the drive side, so it's going to be facing that way. One of the other things with the Maxxis tyres is that only one side actually has the writing on it of which tyre it is, and that always wants to be on your drive side. So that's pretty much an easy way of making sure that your tread's going the right way. It's all kind of like your picky, not picky, but it just makes it look a lot more clean. You want to have your Maxxis logo with like your first X lined up with your valve. Get your sealant. I've only got a little bit left, but it should be enough. I like to turn my tyre for the bit that's already beaded on the bottom, and then you can bead this bit up here so you're not hopefully dripping too much onto yourself. And again, make sure your bead is all the way around in the middle. Geez, this sidewall is strong, guys. It's a double down. I haven't beaded one of these before. A lot of times you don't actually need the compressor. You can actually just pump it up with the pump. So I always like to try that first before I go to the hassle of getting the compressor all going. Look at that. Beat it. Just using a hand pump. Legend. Alright, so you just want to slowly pump it up and then it will start beating itself. Alright guys, then you pretty much just clean off your tyre, make sure you didn't get any on your cassette or anything. Brakes shouldn't really get contaminated, but I did do a bleed on these last week sometime, so that's possibly the reason why they are. Maybe there was a little bit of fluid left over on the rotor or something like that. The first thing you want to do, take your brake pads out. So mine has a little pin on that side there, and then it's just got an Allen key fitting here for this pin. So you just want to unscrew that. Brake pads simply push out the bottom. But sorry, out the top. My bad. Next step, get your brake pads. So I've got my fresh EBC Avid Exo Trail resin pads. Just thought I'd mention the ultimate way of putting new pads in is just to do a bleed. Really, you want to be doing a bleed every time that you put new pads in, but I'm doing this at home a few days before a race. I'll definitely get it checked out at the shop tomorrow though when I go in. So I'm going to be doing this a really ghetto way. I'm literally just going to be putting my fresh brake pads straight in. I'm not even going to push my pistons apart because I did just bleed them, so I think they might might be alright, but if they are rubbing, I'm going to have to push the pistons apart a bit to get them not to rub. So I'm literally just going to put my brake pads straight back in there, and I'm going to put that through, screw it in with my Allen key. And click my derailleur. Pads are much more in line now. You can kind of see the rotor spinning there, and it's not touching any of the pads, no rotor rub or anything, so that's all sweet, ready to go. And that actually makes the brake feel a lot better as well, if you didn't know. Awesome, 2 new tyres, some brake pads. Let's go for a quick spin, make sure we can bed the brake pads in. Very fresh rubber. RUBBA rubber. Check on my jumps. Oh, they're not even looking too bad. I haven't done work on them for ages, but ow, I just walked into a cactus. Yeah, oh, look at the mushrooms growing. Damn, dude, this takeoff's still pretty mint. This is all gonna be, oh yeah, dude, rock hard. That's crazy. It's been raining a bit, so mega compacted. Alrighty guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Super simple, easy tubeless setup and brake installation video. Pick yourselves up some of those EBC brakes and some Maxxis tires if you haven't already. They feel super sick. I'm gonna let you know how they go on Sunday. I am gonna be racing Elite Men. Don't know how I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get the gimbal working again. But yeah, I'll let you know how I go on the day. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good one. Yoo-hoo! Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Yoo!